Hello there, Tolkien fanatics. Welcome back. We are bringing you another battle report, and this is going to be a different, special kind of battle report. So we're actually playing with 2,000 points on the table with 4 different 500-point armies playing Chaos and Arda. So this is an event that I believe Devin Moreno actually started and championed at the Nova Open at least 4 or 5 years ago, and it has really become big, and he sells these packs for about $10–15, and you can play them with your friends at home. Great way to have a pickup game if you're trying to learn and just have some fun. So we are going to be covering this today, and I'm going to go ahead and lead off. My 500-point army is the Garrison of Dale, which I've been working on if you watch my last battle report. I will be bringing Garrett and 2 captains upgraded with shields, and then a combined total of 15 warriors with shield, 10 warriors with spear and shield, and 12 warriors with Escaroth bows, which are the equivalent of great bows. Or, well, I'm sorry, not great bows, elf bows. And then Garrett himself is upgraded with a great bow, so he does have that strength 4 hitting. So, Joe, what are you bringing with us?
So I'm bringing the Assault on Helm's Deep Legendary Legion. I have 2 Uruk-Hai captains, both of them upgraded with shields. I have the Uruk-Hai commander, he's upgraded with a shield. And then I have a banner bearer in with the Uruk-Hai commander, and I have a crossbow. I have 12 Uruk-Hai warriors with shield. I have 6 Uruk-Hai warriors with pike. I have a Uruk-Hai warrior upgraded with a banner. And then, just because of the nature of this legendary legion, I of course took the Uruk-Hai ballista until I found out this was a Maelstrom game. I was actually happy about this.
All right. Joe, you're Joe. Dan, what do you got over there?
Alright, so I'm taking the Lothlorien army. I've played this army in like 6 years, and I've been reading some of the Silmarillion, and really been looking forward to playing out some elves. So right now I'm taking Kelborn, upgraded with hand and a half weapon, elven hand and a half weapon, shield, and heavy armor. He is leading, he's going to be leading 3 Galadrim warriors upgraded with shield, 4 Galadrim warriors upgraded with bow, 1 Galadrim court guard, 4 elf warriors upgraded with their spears, elven spears, and 1 banner bearer upgraded with an elven spear and a banner. Then I'm taking Haldir, fully kitted out with the Elven Bow and heavy armor. I'm not taking the Elven Cloak, so he's not fully kitted out. My apologies. He's leading 4 Galadrim warriors upgraded with bows, 4 Galadrim warriors upgraded with shield, 1 Galadrim court guard, and 4 elf warriors upgraded with elven spears. Next up, Garrett's army, which we helped him make, so I'll help you guys go over there real quick. He's taking Elrond, upgraded with heavy armor and a horse. He is leading 5 Rivendell Knights, upgraded with shields. Lindir, fully upgraded with his heavy armor and a horse. He's also leading 5 Rivendell Knights, upgraded with shields. That's it. Garrett, we used to play with Garrett back in Colorado. First time he's played in a while. So
yeah, I'm just learning. So hey, so they had to help me out with the army, but I have played it before. I just need a refresher.
Yeah, I think this is probably a great little easy game to play with 3 to 6 people is what it recommends. And it's one of those ones where, because the objectives of this game depend on the cards that we deal out. So it does come with a deck of cards. They say, here's our cards, and everybody gets 3 cards. And each turn, you're trying to achieve the objectives on the card. Now, your opponents don't know what you're doing. There are 5 priority markers out there, and they are numbered 1 through 5 specifically for the cards themselves. So if you achieve an objective, you turn it in, and it usually tells get 1 victory point. Some of them are D3, some of them are more. I believe there's actually a 5-point victory point one out there, crazy as it sounds. So if you don't achieve anything and you can't get any of your cards at the end of the turn, you can turn 1 in and get a different one. If you draw a card that is physically impossible for your army to achieve, i.e. shoot a shooting weapon, and you have no shooting in your army, you can discard that card and draw another one as well. So throughout the game, we'll be drawing cards, trying to get secret objectives, discarding cards, and going from there. So this game does last until all armies but one are quartered, and that's also another reason why it's better to play this around the 400 or 500 point range, which is why we chose 500 points. So I'm not going to keep this recording like I usually do. I'm going to go ahead and just bop back and forth. We'll cut in whenever something big happens, like, you know, some crazy combat, or somebody achieves a specific objective. And other than that, we'll come back at the end of each turn and do a wrap up.
Before we roll for priority, does he need to roll for his foresight points?
Yes, Elrond does get foresight points in this scenario, so let's go ahead and just roll for those right away.
How many die is that?
One.
One die?
I think it's D6, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, he rolls a 6.
So you get 6 insight points.
Sweet.
So those 6 points he can use to minus or plus his priority roll each turn, which can be big for him, especially since he's an all-mounted force. And, you know, maybe he doesn't want to get priority, so he can back away, so bring it down. Maybe he definitely needs it because he's in position where he's got the charge off. So getting that 6 is really key there. All right, guys, we will be back after turn 1 for deployment and whatever objective markers we do try to achieve. Okay guys, so here we are at the end of turn 1, and it was a very interesting turn. So I did get priority, followed by Garrett, and then Dan, and Joe came in last. So I have one warband that came over here on this board edge, and then the rest of my army is over here, just because of how the dice were thrown. Garrett unfortunately rolled a 1 with one of his warbands, and it was, I believe, Lindir, so only Elrond is on the board for him right now. And then we have Dan and Joe in a huge elven standoff right here. Joe rolled really hot with his dice, 2 6s and a 4 for this board edge being whatever number 4 was. I think it was the eastern or western board edge. So he is protecting his ballista, which is good. He did get a shot off. He took a shot at my guy at the end over there, and unfortunately hit him, didn't wound him. So that guy is just kind of standing around while he's prone. But that is where the models lay. Nobody achieved any objectives. I have announced a card though for this turn, and it says that all models with bows with ranged weapons may not charge this turn. So if they have a ranged weapon, which at this point I think nobody but the bowman, there's nothing but bowman on here, they cannot charge. However, at the end of the turn, we're going to tally up whoever got the most kills with ranged weapons, then we'll score a victory point.
I also rearranged the...
Oh yes, and Joe cashed one in, and he switched the number 4 objective over here with the number 2 objective in
When I
there.
swapped the center one to 1.
Okay, so the number 1 objective is now down here, and 5 is in the center. So that's very interesting. All right, guys, we will be back at the end of this turn. Alright, turn 2 is in the books, and I'm back again with a recap. So I did use the shooting card that I was talking about, and I was able to score 2 wounds. I killed a horse, and I killed a rider over here against this Rivendell contingent, so I scored 2 wounds there. Unfortunately, Joe countered with his ballista, and actually did a wound to Garrison over there. I did fade out of it, but then he took another wound from running into his own guy, and then that guy died. So technically Joe tied me because I negated the wounds. We agreed that since I negated the wound, it doesn't count. Just like I think Lords of Battle does that as well. But that's what we agreed upon. So nobody got that victory point. That being said, Garrett was able to secure objective marker number 1 here after Joe switched it. So a little bit of an alliance going on there, and was able to score a victory point for that. I did a heroic march, left my archers in place, took some shots over here at these Rivendell Knights that finally came on. They took shots at me but scored no hits. I counter shot, scored a couple hits but no wounds. I marched up with my captain over here, so I'm down to 1 point of might, but I did secure objective marker number 4 there and got myself a point. So Garrett and I are both on the board now with a 1-1 score, and Dan and Joe over here just went to town working on each other with kills. So it was a couple of heroic combats. Haldir over here did run one and succeeded and ended up getting 2 kills for the Elven side, which has definitely helped this flank out, it looks. And then over here, unfortunately, this captain right here, Joe's leader, was thwarted by this one Galadriel bowman because he rolled a 5 high, or I think he rolled a 6, and so did the Galadrim warrior. And then with the Galadrim weapon, he rolled in the roll off 4. And so then it was just a couple more combats over here. There was a kill from Celeborn, and then that's about it. So our kill count right now, Joe has lost 3 models, Dan has lost 4, Garrett has lost 1, and I have lost 1. So this is where we stand at the end of turn 2 with a 1-1 score for Garrett and me. All right, and we'll be back. I have priority for this turn, followed by Joe, followed by Garrett, followed by Dan. And we will return at the end of turn 2. Alright, so that turn 3 is in the books, and the kill count has kind of moved up a little bit here. Another Uruk was slain, another elf, and another warrior Dale. Not a lot of killing, a lot of kicking in the shins. The high fight value of the elves over here has definitely helped them hold this flank, as well as over here. Unfortunately, there is a nice enemy elven line coming. There's going to be a little pinstripe here. Rivendell fighting up against Lothlorien. The big news was that a lot of points were turned in last turn. We actually had a point by Dan that was not accounted for, that we didn't realize. So we actually have more points on the board. So myself, Joe, and Dan are all sitting at 1 point. You got 1, right, Joe? Yep. And Garrett has taken the lead with 3. And Garrett has not been in a single combat at all. So that's pretty good for him. We did have a couple heroics over here. This captain did do a heroic combat against 1 elf, tied with 6s, and then won the roll-off against the elven-made weapon, crazy as it sounds. Did get the kill, and then came over here and tried to take out a couple of my guys. I won the combats, no wounds, so I just kicked them away. We are into the next turn, turn 4, and there's been a slew of heroic combat, or heroic movements this turn. I called one over here, and then 3 were called in this facility with this captain here, Haldir. Where's Haldir at? Right here. And then Elrond himself coming from the back flank. So we'll be back at the end of this turn, turn 4, to give a recap. A little bit of shooting over here, forgot to mention that, but nothing happened here. So we'll be back, guys. Okay, Tolkien fanatics, so here we are back again after the end of turn 4. I know some people hate me saying, alright, we'll be right back, alright, we're back. But, you know what? You guys aren't shooting the video, I am, so that's what I'm using for terminology. Alright, so we had a lot of combats going on. We had some charges over here. I played a special spell card that, one of the, Chaos and Arda cards. All models had to charge if capable of doing so, so there was a lot of combats. I also played a card where I declared how many kills I was going to get this turn, and I chose 2, and I achieved my 2. Not the 2 I expected to get, but I got my 2. I got my D3 victory points, and I rolled a 4, so I added 2 more, so Garrett and I are now tied with 3 apiece, and Dan and Joe are tied with 1. Dan unfortunately took a lot of heavy casualties this turn, maybe close to broken. Had a shot from the ballista, it hit, rolled a 1 on the scatter. Well, he rolled a 4, decided to re-roll, trying to get a 6. Be cheeky. Did not, rolled a 1, so I made it miss. Just had a lot of combats here. This leader over here is down to 1 wound. That's awesome. Haldir took a wound. And then the captain over here did a heroic movement. So, yeah guys, Garrett and Joe have formed an alliance, if you can't tell. So Dan and I are in like a tentative alliance. Unfortunately, all my guys are over here. So I can't really do a lot, but I am coming to hopefully maybe swing this flank in the favor of the elves and the Garrison of Dale. So we will see how this goes next turn. So Garrett has priority, or Joe has priority, then Garrett, then myself, and then Dan. So the unexpected alliance between elves and Garrison of Dale have not won much in priority the last 2 turns. So we shall see how this turn goes. Alright guys, the slaughter is real here. This board here in the middle, minus this guy, these flats, are all the dead. So not only 1 Rivendell Knight, 4 men of Dale, lots of Lothlorien, and even more Isengard have been slaughtered. And this has come to a head with 3 different factions fighting now. all the elves and Uruks are gone from this flank. So these Rivendell knights have rolled in and helped eliminate. So one big thing, I don't think I talked about it. I think I've gone 2 turns now. I didn't do a recap last turn. I'm not really sure, but one big thing that happened is Haldir was over here and was killed, surrounded and ganked by 4 Uruks. He used his last stand wound where he gets to make 1 strength 4 hit against every guy in combat that killed him and rolled 3 5s and a 6. So took out 4 Uruks, and unfortunately the hits just kept coming and it basically steamrolled into Joe breaking on that turn. So he's close to being 25%ed, if not more. And I think we're probably just going to play, it's supposed to be until one person's 25, but I think we're just going to play this until the first person is 25. So this may be the last turn, one more turn to go. But as far as points are concerned, I was able to nab 2 this turn. I control all 5 objective markers at the moment, crazy as that sounds. I was to do, if I controlled 3 of them, it would have been a D3 victory points, and I rolled a 1. So I only got 1. And then I used a heroic march and had these guys participate over here. So I got 1 for that. And then Dan got 1 for being in a combat with all his heroes. And I think Joe got 1 for surviving a fall from the prior turn we didn't talk about. So the points stand thusly at myself at 6, Garrett right there behind me at 4, and Dan and Joe tied at 2. So we're probably going to play this one last turn, most likely by the look of what's left on the board, and then take a final tally and see where we're at. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so we went ahead and talked amongst ourselves, and we're going to go ahead and call it, because even if we play another turn and one of us is quartered, the results are not going to change. I'm actually in position to gain at least another victory point by just being in control of objective number 3, which is over here in this back corner with this guy. And then I may have pushed for another one where I'd have at least 1 guy around every objective point. Garrett could have potentially charged this guy here and made that hard, but I could have moved these 2 guys off of that objective. Maybe get over there, but not likely. So I would have grabbed at least 1, and he was the closest one to be able to challenge me for VPs, and that would not have, he doesn't have anything he could gain this turn. So it's a 6-4 to 2 scoring. 6 for myself, 4 for Garrett, who hasn't played for a while, so good job, Garrett.
Thanks.
Playing the objective. That's the biggest mistake that people make when they first get back into the game. It's just going for kills and not focusing on the objective of the game, which I think Chaos and Arda is pretty good for teaching you to focus on the objective of the game. And then Dan unfortunately just got a lot of crappy cards dealt his way, all objective game cards, and he was stuck over here fighting in the corner against the siege weapon. So what do you think, Dan? If you didn't have that siege weapon there, would you have tried to maybe spread out a little bit more to be closer to objectives?
Yeah, what I should have done is actually deployed my own little area and gone for the objectives. I think that I'm probably the most susceptible to the siege weapon because of my defense with a lot of my elves. So I wanted to.
Yeah, the defense 3 guys.
I didn't want to put myself in a position to get shot at the whole game. That was kind of my way of thinking. But Joe got rolled really good on his
deployment.
His deployment. He got rolled all 6s for most of his guys, so he was able to challenge me.
The 3 warbands he had, he rolled 6-6, which is anywhere, and then the other one was 4, which is this board edge here. So he was able to come in exactly where he needed to do to really bubble wrap that. What do you call it? The siege weapon. So yeah, it was a fun experience. I don't know, Garrett, I know this is the first time playing for a while, so this might be just one of those like, oh my god, what am I doing type things. But Dan, what'd you think? Chaos and Arda.
Cool. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a different way to play strategy battle game.
Yeah, I definitely think if I go to Nova again in the future and I'm able to swing the days off, I think Chaos and Arda is done on Thursday afternoon, because doubles is usually Friday, and then the GT is Saturday and Sunday. So if I can get an ability to get up there, I think I'd enjoy playing it in like a competitive type setting or whatever it is. It's a fun game. It's a fun way to play, different way to play. And hope you guys enjoyed. I know we didn't do the typical like, here, let's just watch us play for the next 3 hours. But a little recap of everything that went on. Probably was a little bit better for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah guys, help me out. Smash that like button. Please subscribe, beat the damn YouTube analytics, and I'll see you next time on a Tolkien Fanatics adventure. Take care.